Hier ist Tereza für Splash Mac und heute mit...
You're here with Mick Jenkins.
So this is your first headlining tour,
yes.
And your first time in Europe overall.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be in Europe, and especially how were the last days? You stayed in London, right?
Yes, for a little while. It's cool, you know, especially being out here for music. I think it's really crazy that I'm from the other side of the world, you know, a very different society, a very different people, and that's what I'm speaking about. That's what my music is about, and people understand that, you know, and receive that and can still feel what I'm trying to get across, and I don't really take that for granted. I think that's something to easily lose sight of because of the internet, but it's just like people are connecting with what I'm saying halfway around the world. And it's cool to be able to be out here because of music and look at a room of people who are trying to understand me, you know what I'm saying, who hear the music, and it makes them feel away. So it's been great. I've been running into good people. London was cool. I've been in Berlin since yesterday. I kind of like it, so it's been good. It's a great experience, you know.
So what did you do in Berlin yesterday? You only
we
slept the whole day, or?
No, we took a walk to Gelegenheit Park at night.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the name, right?
The Gelegenheit Park?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw it on Twitter that many people were suggesting you to go to Gelegenheit Park.
Yeah. We took a walk over there. That was interesting. That was fun.
To find a special girl.
Quickly went back to the crib. No, but the city's what we pay attention to. You know, the people, how people act. We're in a different country almost every day, so you can see the difference in people. You know, how they look, how they dress, and it's just really cool to try to take it in so fast. Yes. You know, it has you trying to pay attention to a lot. So I like the architecture out here as well. You know.
Cool. So every blog is talking about you the new hope of hip hop, the next to blow up. How do you deal with that pressure? How does that affect your process of making music?
I'm aware of it, you know, but I don't try to let it affect me. You know, I think that can give you the wrong kind of inspiration. I'm a part of a group of people who are bringing that back. A focus, you know what I'm saying, to the music and where it needs to be as far as hip hop goes, you know. And I don't take that on my own, put that on my own shoulders at all. I just try to keep making music. You know, whatever I was doing, I would be trying to evoke this message in whatever art form or whatever medium I was using. And it just happens to be music, so it's something that I'm going to do regardless of that title. I respect it. I appreciate it. I'm glad people recognize it as so, you know. But I try not to let it go to my head too much at all.
Yes. So when you were talking about the waters, you said that you feel like your music is underrated. Do you feel that with the waves it is different to the times when you released the waters?
No, I don't think it's different. I think that's just the nature of the hip hop game, the landscape, and what it has come to be, what music has come to be, and what is popular and what isn't. I think Kendrick was underrated for a very long time. I think Joey Badass was underrated for a long time. I mean, I just think some of the best lyricists in the game, coincidentally, are underrated for a long time, you know, before people really get hip, you know. So I think that's just the nature of it.
You're talking about landscape of the music. Do you think the landscape nowadays, J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar selling a lot of records, you fit better in that landscape now than before, maybe?
Yeah,
more
definitely
than ever, maybe.
Yeah, definitely than recently. You know, definitely since the late '90s. You know what I'm saying? Since '98. Since I mean, even later than that. You know, maybe 2003. You know, when hip hop really started to take a shift. Absolutely, you know. I think we were always in that space. There just weren't people feeling those voids the way that these newer artists are, like Kendrick, like Cole, like Crit. you know. And they're just showing that we can do it, you know. They're showing that we can do it, and I think that surge of artistry, along with the internet, you know, showing us how independent we actually can be with whatever we want to do and what we have to say. I think that's showing a lot of people that we can absolutely live in that space, saying what we have to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you are living in Chicago, and in 2012, I guess, there was this whole blow up of the drill movement. Mm-hmm. So poster boys like Chief Keef or Lil Durk or whoever blow up, and it was like, okay, Chicago is the most violent city, probably the most violent city in the world. How did you get in touch with that or did you get in touch with the kind of music, the drill music, or do you know the artists, or how do you see that when you're in Chicago?
I don't really know any drill artists personally. I met Herb before, mm-hmm. you know. I played a show with Bibby, met him before, but I don't know anybody personally. But
does it affect you somehow?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was going to say. We grew up in the same city. You know, I was living in some of the same areas. I went to school with people. You know, I'm familiar with the lifestyle. Yeah. Absolutely. Victim to it, predator in it. I'm familiar with it. You know, so I just live a different way. I just grew up a different way. I was blessed to know and have different opportunities and have a different scope on life. You know, some people have never been outside of their neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You know, some people have never been outside of Chicago, you know, and been able to see what else life can be. That's not always the case, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of different reasons people turn out, you know, that way. I don't have a problem with drill music per se. People think I do. But those stories are real, you know, like they're very authentic. And I think that's the most exciting thing about Chief Keef and Durk and Herb and Fredo and all these guys who came out in the drill scene was just that, you know, when you looked at Chicago, you couldn't really even doubt that what they were saying was fake, you know, and that's something that you have to worry about with popular music in the industry. Is this real? Is this authentic? Yeah. And the news in Chicago was corroborating the stories, like, this is absolutely real, you know, like, this is happening. So it was sensationalized for people because it is real, you know, so I don't denounce it. I think the way people follow it and allow it to influence them and influence their decisions and influence the way they live their lives is the saddest part. That has a lot to do with the way it's pushed and the way it's covered mm-hmm. and the way it's marketed, you know, and that's not their fault, you know. So, I mean, I think Martyrs was kind of a drill record. It definitely was a aim in that direction. It sounded like it. I was just saying different words, you know, and in that sense, you know, drill's not that bad. It's really just the sound. You know what I'm saying? You could say whatever you want to say, you know? So I don't know. I like it. I like it. I like the artist, you know. King Louis is one of my favorite artists. I enjoy drill music as well, you know, just not the way that it has a hold on people.
So speaking about Chicago, we have to speak about Kanye West, of course. You said in an interview that you're a big fan of Kanye West, and you didn't like the Dark Twisted Fantasy album that much. You said that it was the weakest one of his collection or something.
Oh, no. I don't like Yeezus that much. I like.
Okay. Maybe it was the.
No, it was also what I said about Dark Twisted Fantasy was just that I like it. You can't deny it. You know, it was an amazing album, but I'm one to concentrate on content. And it's just not an album that I'm going to listen to a lot because I feel like it was very misogynistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's just a lot of shit that I just didn't fuck with. You know, like things that he was saying that I just can't like be like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna run that back. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really listen to it that much, like at all. Like it was cool. I checked it out. Everybody was listening to it. It was hot, you know, but.
What do you like about Kanye?
I think he's an amazing producer. I think he's an amazing rapper. I think he's an amazing artist, creatively all around. I think he's an amazing designer. I think he's fearless.
Okay. Yeah. you also wanted to become a designer, right?
Yeah.
After wanting to become a lawyer and doing the internship at the courts.
Yeah. I interned at a federal building in Chicago, and I didn't really like it. It was a good experience, for sure, but it just wasn't how I thought it was going to be. And went somewhere else, to design. And my mom said, no, you can't. You got to go to school. So I was like, damn. Started writing.
What is she saying now? Is she proud?
Oh, she's happy. She's proud. She's one of my #1 fans.
So for anybody who didn't already understand, water is synonymous with truth, right? So when I say drink more water, what I'm actually saying is seek more truth. I think these days we're all too comfortable accepting exactly what we're being told.
So back to your creative process. You are working a lot with them people.
Yeah.
They are working a lot with Chance the Rapper, Big Mensa, Dolly Trumpet, and people
Everybody
like that.
in Chicago. Yeah.
So how can I imagine the creative process of making like the waters or the waves? Do you pick beats, or do you say, oh, I want something more like future R&B, or how does it work?
It varies. I'm never glued into one creative process, whether it be writing or choosing beats or collaborating. But for Waters and Waves, I was very much coming into the studio and just trying to figure it out. You know, we were just making what we felt. We would fall in the grooves of songs that worked and sometimes songs that didn't work. You know, I'd take verses from old songs that we weren't going to use and put them on new songs. I would write to 6 different beats just for one song. I mean, there was all types of ways. You know, with Waves, I just kind of came in the studio with Lon of them peoples, and we just like would ask each other back and forth, what you feeling? Like, what you feel like today? Like, play a sound, play some keys, and fill out the vibe of the day and just go from there. And that's what a lot of the music reflects. So, and with Waters, it was more of a choosing thing. You know, hearing a lot of beats that Owen God was making and then Peoples was making, and just like choosing which ones like best sounded like what I wanted. And for the healing component, is completely different. You know, it's a little bit of that. It's working with new artists. You know, K Tronada, I just got off tour with Stu, and I got a lot of production from him. Miss Sizer as well. So, I mean, I'm not locked into one way, but that's definitely how it was done for Waves, for sure.
Can we expect the Lil Sims collaboration on the healing component?
No, hopefully it comes out before that. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
She's really cool.
Very dope.
I really like her. You said you work with K Tronada as well. How did that connection come together?
Montreal has a mural festival where all throughout the festival, I think it's like 4 or 5 days, there are people painting murals up and down the main strip for the festival. It's really dope, but we were walking down the street and we saw K Tronada in a shop eating poutine. And my managers from Montreal, we went up to him, we introduced ourselves, and we kind of started to build a relationship from there. Since then.
Did he knew you? Did he recognize you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But he ended up hearing the music.
Cool.
And started to build a relationship. You know, I come back to Montreal a lot. He had sent me some songs that some beats that I did some work to. Play shows with him, you know, seen him at festivals, and it's continuing to build. So, you know, we're gonna work on for the album in like December. Cool. I'll be in Montreal, so there's a lot of shit cooking with him. He's one of my favorite producers for sure.
Yeah, of course. I think like 99% of rappers want to collaborate with them. So yes, it's cool. It's really cool. So you just got off tour with Stu.
Yeah.
And did he give you some like advice or tips to survive in Europe?
Definitely just about the basics. You know, converters, making sure that we got our own iron and things like that. But you know, nothing crazy. I don't think we needed too much advice. We were on the U.S. tour together, you know, toughing it out, you know. It's a really cool dude, really good producer, setting the vibes right. He told us where we were going to have a good time. He told us we were going to have a good time in London. He told us we were going to have a good time in Stockholm.
Okay.
He told us we were going to have a good time in Sweden. So
probably in Amsterdam as well.
Oh, that's a given. That's a given.
So that's what I mean when I say seek more truth. That's what you hear when I say drink more water. If you hear that, if you understand that, let me hear y'all. Drink more water! Let me hear you drink more water! Louder, drink more water! Next time, drink more!
see real, cause I smell it. Let me nigga better than a drinking seven. Inhale pain, exhale vendetta. All these artists disappear all the time, you know, they're just names.
Because they be rushing their album.
Rushing their album.
No pressure. I was
Yeah.
just asking.